continue the show. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefi. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. My money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302-246319 or 0302-246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week by way of local stories. Please enjoy.
The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Major General Paul Seydou Kulono, has received the Chief of Defence Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Lieutenant General William Ejapong, at the GPHA Towers in Tema. The visit, which took place on Monday, 22nd December 2025, formed part of a familiarization engagement aimed at acquainting the Chief of Defence Staff with the operations of the authority and exploring areas of strategic collaboration between GPHA and the Ghana Armed Forces. During the engagement, Lieutenant General Ejapong was briefed on GPHA's mandate, ongoing port infrastructure developments, and key operational activities across Ghana's ports. Discussions also focused on strengthening cooperation in critical areas including port security, logistics support, and the protection of national maritime assets.
Let me also acknowledge the collaborations that we have been having together. But for me, what is important is how we bring out the synergy from this kind of collaboration. So we'll continue to do that same, put in our best.
So I want to state that within our mandates, we are ready to support the Ghana forces and to do what is expected of us.
As part of the visit, the Chief of Defence Staff toured selected operational areas of the Port of Tema, where he observed cargo handling and terminal activities, gaining first-hand insight into port operations and security arrangements. The visit highlights the long-standing partnership between GPHA and the Ghana Armed Forces and reflects a shared commitment to safeguarding Ghana's ports, enhancing maritime security, and supporting national development through strong interagency collaboration. The Director of Port Tema, Tibon Zuma Esquire, has held his first official Durbar with the staff of the Port of Tema, using the engagement to reflect on key developments in 2025 and outline major operational priorities for 2026. The meeting, held on Tuesday, 23rd December 2025 at the forecourt of the Marine Block, brought together management and staff in what was positioned as a platform for transparency, alignment, and shared responsibility in driving port performance. A major highlight of the address was management's decision to fully operationalize the Pon Unity Terminal for transit cargo operations, effective January 2026. The move is expected to improve cargo flow efficiency and strengthen Ghana's competitiveness as a regional transit hub for landlocked countries.
Along the line, we got a directive from government that there has been a lot of improvement with the Sahelian countries, and that we should dedicate a terminal for them as transit customers. And Pon was identified as such. Since then, we have stopped moving the UCL boxes there, and we have been planning to move the transit trade to Pon.
Looking ahead to 2026, the Director of Port outlined priority initiatives, including the completion of dredging works, expansion of the reefer terminal to ease congestion, improved port lighting, and better quayside sanitation facilities to enhance safety and working conditions.
Reefer terminal. Today we have reefer outside and reefer inside at T2. Fortunately, we were approached by a landowner closer to the main reefer terminal that he was prepared to relinquish that land to GPHA and wanted us to buy it back. We thought that it was the best opportunity, so we have jumped onto it and we are going to buy back that land. The purpose of it is to expand the main reefer terminal and to collapse the one that is inside T2.
Staff and management of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, have lighted up the Christmas season with 9 lessons and carol service under the theme Joy to the World, the GPHA Christmas Praise 2025. The event, which took place at the forecourt of the Port of Tema, marked the official ushering in of the Christmas season and featured an interdepartmental carols competition. Various departments delivered rich and spirited performances, including the French class. Marine Unit, Security, Audit, Transport, Reefer, Golden Jubilee Terminal, Operations, Fire and Safety Department, among others. The celebration opened with stirring musical performances, dramatic acts, and a Christmas play that set a joyful and a reflective tone for the celebration. In his remarks, the Director of Port, Tebon Zuma Esquire, expressed gratitude to all participating departments, expressing optimism about the continued success of the annual 9 Lessons and Carols celebration.
Tema Port Management and the General Managers from headquarters, on behalf of myself and the Director General, who would have loved to be here, but because of other schedules, he's not able to be present. I wish to welcome all the participating choir teams, and I'm told you have been preparing for the past 1 month, and I will not be surprised at all to see a very strong competition.
Speaking at the event, the Marketing and Public Relations Manager of the Port of Tema, Abenasewa Opokufosu, described the 9 Lessons and Carols service as a cherished tradition of GPHA, explaining that it provides an opportunity for reflection, celebration, and unity among the staff.
We are in for an excellent time, but we would also want to appreciate all the various heads and the departments. We have seen the commitment, the costumes that you have gone to buy at your own expense. It tells us that indeed this is an event that has come to stay.
The event was climaxed with the emergence of the Golden Jubilee Terminal as winner of the Interdepartmental Carols competition.
All right, so welcome back. Those were happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week. Tonight we have a compendium, a 5-minute compendium of some of the major and groundbreaking stories that we did in the year 2025. We call it 2025 under review or in retrospect, also by way of local stories. Please enjoy.
2025 was a year of expansion, security, policy shifts, and global recognition for Ghana's maritime sector, from Tema to Takoradi and across inland waterways. Iron Port followed the stories that shaped port operations, trade competitiveness, and maritime safety. The year opened with Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority commissioning a state-of-the-art multi-purpose vessel named after former Director of Port Gordon Enim, boosting marine operations. Tema Port also welcomed Ocean Network Express's first Magenta vessel to West Africa, while leadership renewal continued with Theresa Potake taking over as Tema Customs Sector Commander. February focused on continuity as the new Director General of GPHA, Major General Paul Seydou Tanya-Klono, was formally introduced to staff and management, setting the tone for strategic delivery through the year. In March, GPHA industry players and Sahelian businesses jointly called for the removal of VAT on transit cargo following a ministerial tour of Tema Port, an appeal aimed at strengthening Ghana's position as a regional trade hub. April blended vigilance with growth. Customs intercepted opioid drugs valued at over 20 million cedis, reinforcing border security as a new customs commissioner, Brigadier General Ashong Anan, was introduced to the Tema collection. Tema Port also hosted the world's largest floating university, MV World Odyssey, alongside multiple cruise calls across the year. Commercially, MSC Turkiye became the largest container ship ever to call Ghana, confirming Tema's readiness for mega vessels. Leadership changes continued with Captain James Richmond Quayson as Director for Takoradi Port and Tebon Zuma Esquire as Director for Tema Port. GPHA augmented operations with 15 new trucks to ease logistics constraints. labor reform featured in fisheries through a landmark MOU on fishers' wages. June delivered operational upgrades as GPHA commissioned a vessel traffic management and information system to enhance maritime surveillance. The authority also rehabilitated the Mangwazi Harbour roundabout corridor, improving access to the port enclave. July marked the rollout of government's 24/7 economy policy at the ports. Capacity building took center stage with Bernhard Schultz Ship Management inaugurating a modern maritime training center at the Regional Maritime University alongside new academic facilities. Port safety was reinforced with the commissioning of a new fire tender at Tema. August saw the launch of Ocean Centers Ghana to champion safety, sustainability and climate resilience, while DVLA replaced DP plates with trackable stickers to strengthen vehicle monitoring. Maritime safety extended inland as the Ghana Maritime Authority established new outposts on the Volta Lake. GPHA also maintains strict oversight over the evacuation of seized excavators to military installations in support of anti-illegal mining efforts. October brought international acclaim as GPHA won a Global Community Building Award at the International Association of Ports and Harbours Sustainable Awards. The month also featured journalist training in maritime security, the Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair, and EPA public hearings on the Portoftema project. In November, President John Dramani Mahama commissioned phases 1 and 2 of the Tema Port expansion project. GPHA strengthened trade ties with Burkina Faso, while Ghana approved its first marine protected area at Greater Cape 3 Points. Security capabilities grew with new police patrol vessels and the commissioning of a 6,000 FS cargo scanner at Tema Port. December closed the year with Tema Port winning Terminal Operator of the Year at the Ghana Shippers Awards. Tema Fishing Harbour recorded a historic call by the 137-meter Orange Frost Willemstad. The year ended with the largest port security simulation exercise and assurances from GPHA Board Chairman Asiedu Nketia on further expansion and full utilization of the Gbon Unity Terminal.
Welcome back. Those were some happenings, major stories or groundbreaking stories that we did in the year 2025. We're now going to go for some international port and shipping news.
The Zero Emission Maritime Buyers Alliance, ZEMBA, has selected 2 shipping lines to deploy hydrogen-derived e-fuels in what marks a significant advancement in maritime decarbonization efforts. Global Container Line Hapag-Lloyd and regional operator North Sea Container Line won ZEMBA's second tender, announced Wednesday, enabling member companies to reduce ocean transport emissions through scalable alternative fuels. According to ZEMBA, the deployment will cover an initial 20 billion ton nautical miles of transport activity over 3 years, with some members extending to 5 years, resulting in at least approximately 120,000 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions abated starting in 2027.
All right, welcome back. We're now going for the word of the day.
Health and safety tips. Identify vulnerable workers. It is important to be aware of any staff who could be considered vulnerable workers. If any are disabled, pregnant, or suffer long-term health problems, it is a good idea to carry out a specific risk assessment to make sure their health and safety is being properly protected. For example, a pregnant worker shouldn't be doing any heavy lifting.
Welcome back. We are now zooming to our discussion proper tonight, and tonight we're taking a look at our investment outlook in Ghana. That's under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. That's AfCTA. We're trying to take a look 6 years down the line. What have we achieved so far under this particular agreement, and what's the situation as of now? What the prospects are for the future as we, swing into the year 2026, God willing. And so with us in the studios is no stranger to Iron Port, Mr. Louis Awafo. He's an international trade and after investment promotion consultant. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Good evening and Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas,
wishes
sir.
to all your viewers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He wears many caps, but tonight he's, dealing with investment promotion. So, yes, that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. And 6 years down the line, nearly 6 years, so to speak, down the line, we just want to find out from you the current state of tariff schedules, submitted and implemented by state parties under this agreement.
Well, I think that basically you have the tariff schedules that will say was the belly of why the whole AfCTA idea was conceived. How we can be able to liberalize our tariffs and trade among ourselves. That is key. That is very key. And so you had countries that were going for regimes to liberalize for 15 years, some for 10 years, and some for 5 years. This is very key for exporters. Now, Ghana went in for the 5 years instead, at inception, but we later went in for the 10 years. This has to do with revenue issues. Don't forget. Because once you liberalize a tariff regime, you're saying that you're going to discount your tariffs or what somebody say import duties on after products for a certain period of time. Now, there were major countries that signed for the 5 years initially, Egypt, South Africa, and the rest. But, I'm using the word but, currently, I really doubt if they are really ready, because after next year, we are expecting to have those countries that sign in for the 5 years to have zero tariffs of that liberalized 90% products. Don't forget, the AfCTA Secretariat also added the 7%. We call it the sensitive ones. So let's say 97% of total liberalized products. So countries that liberalize for 5 years, by next year we are hoping that they should have had zero tariff. Meaning that, for example, if Mona exports this bottle of water, and in the first year of the 5 years regime, every year there should be a certain discount or dismantling of tariffs. So after the 6th year, we're hoping that at least this product should attract zero tariff. Are we ready for that? That is the issue. Now, again, if you look at, and I know we're doing well, but I doubt. The other state of play, which is very important for understand, is that you have, if you take Ghana, for example, we are the chunk of the important site at the AfCTA. What that means is that we are currently doing basically 2.5% in terms of discounting. For the past 5 years, let's say we have discounted majority to 2.5. So in the 10-year regime, we are going to have to discount the other 2.5 to be zero. However, in terms of under AS, it's import and export. The countries that are doing well by far in the export side is South Africa, with over 50%. What that means is that they are exporting more into Ghana. And that is good for them. Reason being that they are manufacturing. Reason being that if they are exporting 50% plus to Ghana, they're doing it through the likes of ShopRite.
Which is their...
They are outlets. So the outlet is selling their manufactured products. Ghana has a trade house, export house in Kenya. So we also say same. I'm not sure the figures will say that. But initially, when it was established, and congratulations to those who worked hard under the Ministry of Trade, it was really, and Ghana GEPA, it was very, and it's good and exciting. Inversely, Mona, it is the same type of you see China houses and China malls, you see. So if China was supposed to be a member of AfCTA.
Yeah.
Could I imagine that they would have triggered and leading the export side of the AfCTA?
Absolutely.
So we are doing not too much well when it comes to the export side of the AfCTA. We are doing more at the receiving end, that is the import side.
Right.
So if you ask me, currently this is a kind of regime, and it's not good. We need to really step up our export. We need to step up our manufacturing. We need to step up our industrialization agenda.
All right, so can you give us a picture of, let's say, how we have fared? Initially, we had some numbers being bandied around us to the number of companies that have exported under AfCTA in our country. Do you have any details or statistics as to how many are currently trading under AfCTA?
I mean, that's a very good question. I can't give you a round figure, but I think that a lot of countries, a lot of companies in the SMEs, especially in the agro processing, especially in the agro, I would say, cosmetics. Because, you know, some of the cosmetic products are directly from agro. So agro cosmetics, in fact, that side did well. Right. A lot of SMEs, MSMEs did a lot well. And I think GPHA will have that, and I think the National Coordinating Office of AfCTA also have that data. They did well. Because I know through some of the programs like the guided trade initiatives, some of them participated well. The one we did after day together with Ghana, and the ones we did also with Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and those. So that side, a lot of companies have done. The other area that I don't think, in terms of large corporates, apart from the time when Casapreco and Gandor were the initial pay setters, after that, you've had also this ceramic company in Western region, the guided trader also did. I also know of some who in the carbon, ties, carbon, there's a carbon, that product.
Right.
And then also some have done in the area of, I think, if you look at agrochemicals. What I'm expecting, or what we're foreseeing, is that we're going to look at a jump if the state parties begin to look at the automobile industry.
Right.
Because it's really emerging, and that was one of the last sectors that, or that was the last sector that needed to finalize what do you call it, the rules of origin.
Yes.
And I'm expecting that with the emergence of electric vehicles, it's really becoming a big issue now. You're going to see not only EVs, but even the accessories gaining momentum come next year.
Right.
Because if you take Morocco is far ahead. If you take Egypt, they are far ahead. If you take South Africa, they are far ahead when it comes to automobile. Right. And also its accessories. So people were asking, why are we not manufacturing ties? You remember, I know you have been around for long.
Yeah.
You remember Bonsa ties?
Absolutely.
Takwa,
yeah.
Bonsa ties.
Yeah.
In those days when you used to have Bonsa ties. So if Bonsa ties company was as valid and as strong and robust like today, then we could have tested that.
Right.
So I think for the statistics, I think that sector is, a lot of companies really, I know, have been exporting one way or the other through trade missions by GPHA, through trade missions by National Coordinating Office, and also by AfCTA itself.
Right.
This is on the, I would say, the surface.
Right. All right, so let's take a look at the number of countries that have fully aligned their national tariff regimes with the AfCTA commitments, and where we stand as a country, because we are in Ghana.
Yeah, and also that's another very good question. You see, currently we have about 49 countries that are full state parties. I think 49. That is encouraging, because you have 54 countries that have signed, okay? And you have 49 that are, let's say, state parties, countries that are trading among themselves.
Yeah.
So that is encouraging. And if you also have those who have submitted their tariff regime and schedules, like 49 plus, is also good. The area that is leaking, or the area that is of concern, is the services.
Okay.
It's the services. You know, it has not been robust. In fact, Ghana itself has not submitted its schedules when it comes to the services side. And I will encourage the Ministry of Trade. I will encourage the National Coordinating Office that works closely for after issues to step up. Because if you take the services, my dear brother, you have about 50% of contribution to your GDP. Today they say we shouldn't talk about, we have moved to another level of GDP. But in terms of services, look at the World Bank report, the past 5 years, services really pull a lot of GDP and revenue for most economies. And so if you come under AfCTA, the services are huge. The services industry is huge.
When you say services,
good.
Yes.
Services that were liberalized. You see, there are about 12 priority sectors under the AfCTA.
Right.
And one of the sectors is ICT.
Right.
Under ICT, you have telecoms and what they fall under that.
Yes.
You have the likes of digital television or the visuals, like you have the multi-TVs, the multi-choice and whatnot. Sure. Then you have transport services.
Right.
Under transport services and the AfCTA, you have maritime.
Yes.
You have aviation.
Yeah.
Then you have land, rail. All these are part of the transport service that have already been liberalized. So it means if there's going to be any exchange or any kind of regulatory exchange between state parties, transport is key. Then another key area, which also was liberalized, was the financial services. And you and I know where financial services are heading towards.
Yes.
The banks, most insurance companies, but most are now realizing that they are really part of the whole deal. That is also an area. But we don't have very robust insurance industries across Africa. Some of them have to collaborate when it comes to some of the asset insurance.
Because it is capital intensive.
Very. And so it is that, and Mona, that's a good point you raised. That is taking us to the next question. When we have infrastructure development,
right?
Do we have the ready market for asset insurance? Very, very important. So now I've mentioned that you also have what we call tourism services that has also been liberalized.
Yeah.
And you know, Ghana, if the last budget you check, I think the last 4 years, the tourism sector contributed a lot, was a third contributor to GDP.
Right.
We need to only look at the infrastructure development of our tourism. If that is so, you take the likes of Mauritius and Seychelles, you take the likes of Cabo Verde, you take the likes of, even currently, you're looking at places like Comoros.
Yes.
Looking at those island places. If you even take up Nigeria's cattle range,
yes,
our tourism services also captures hospitality. It captures tour. It captures rentals.
Right.
So if Mona and Co decides to set up a tour guide, all you're saying is that you should be able to be allowed regulatory to work or set up your office in any of these state parties, so that you can help with that guide. If you take the likes of Senegal, you go to the island of Gorée, you understand what I'm saying very well. Go there, take a trip, and go and see how tourism services in terms of museum, in terms of castles, are working. They have tied it to maritime, said that there is a ferry or a boat that goes every 45 minutes to Gorée Island. So you pay at the port, just like a normal traveler, and then it takes you over to Gorée Island. When you are at Gorée Island, there are other services that are there already. A lot of business is booming there. You buy most African products because you see most artifacts, you see locally made. And so by the time you leave Gorée, you have already participated in the tourism services. Another key area that has also been liberalized, I've mentioned about 4, which is also very key, is the business services.
Right. Business services, you continue, but somebody is calling, some people are calling the WhatsApp line. That's just strictly WhatsApp, please. When the time is right, we'll activate a phone line for you to call. This number is 053-288-7328. You are calling this number, please. It's only for WhatsApp. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Business services. Now, there are 7 which the AfCTA was expecting, at least as of last year. Those ones would have been off table. Now, the other 7, which is very, very key, is the healthcare. It means if the healthcare services are really in motion, what is happening is that you're going to have a lot of investment in healthcare. Education. So you're going to have another boost. So there's 7 others that are real, and then you have a very key area, which has to do with, what do you call it? You have construction.
Right.
And environmental services. You see, if construction and environmental services are finalized and is really in play, you could see a lot of investment in infrastructure and engineering activities. Then the professional services which come under, I think, business. Professional services where your services can be exported from your country of dominance to another country under good regulatory. By example, Mona is maybe a medical doctor or you are an engineer, and your services can be exported to another country, and we are saying that the regulatory framework should not be biased.
Yes.
So these are services, and I'm asking you, upon all that I've mentioned, can you imagine the contribution of GDP? If
I think recently Ghana exported a number of nurses to one of the Caribbean countries.
You're right. You're right on the point. Yes. Even, just take the telecos. Just take the telecos.
Yes.
The services they are providing. Take MTN's contribution to tax revenue in Ghana. They were among the Club 100, I think, some time ago. Sure. So I'm saying that the services sector or the services and the AfCTA, it's just like the normal services and the GATT. These really fetch more than 50% of GDP. And I think that if we expand our attention there, we had a program recently, and I made the same submission that it's about time Ghana submits its services schedules to the AfCTA. We are not fully there yet, which is of concern, and we need to do that. So this is the scape or the landscape when you look at the services under the AfCTA.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk about tariff concessions, whether they are translating into real access, real market access for African goods, or you think that non-tariff barriers are also undermining progress?
For non-tariff barriers, unless it's reported. Unless it's reported. And I have had a lot of conversations with a lot of exporters, cross-border traders. Well, in some cases, it really exists, especially at the borders. It really exists because, you see, there is a need for harmonization when it comes to the non-tariff barriers. Apart from the borders or the cross-border, the borders that are erected or the barriers that are erected by road, you also have to look at standardization and certification. Standardization is key.
Yes.
Because if you are not using that, if you are looking at non-tariff barriers and somebody can just decide to use standardization as a way of being a barrier. There was that case between Kenya and Uganda, I think last year, when it had to do with maize.
Yes.
And I think the Ugandan border, the Kenyan side, they were not allowing maize to cross to Rwanda. To Kenya. And they had to go through a whole lot of, discussions behind the scenes to end up. The same way has to do with other African countries' borders where, by the way, primarily most of them are agricultural.
Right.
That's why if you look at the rules of origin, you have about 80% of factoring into agricultural sector. And so it's very, very, it's not too rampant when it talks about, apart from the road, what do you call it, checks. Standardization, you hear little. That has to do maybe quality assurance. Say, we are not accepting it. Very, very rare. Except when we are exporting out of Africa, that we keep hearing all those things with our European counterpart. So, yes, customs, they will be the best to have that information more, especially per the complaints that have been laid. There's a complaint format that have been laid under the AfCTA to complain if you have issues with that. But some of the stories told by those who go for some of these, there was one of the trade missions in Nigeria where a lot GPHA facilitated or so. And I know a lot of traders who went ahead of their goods, and the program was for about 2 weeks.
Right.
And they were able to, they finished the program before they had access to their products. Those are barriers.
Okay.
I'm saying that you are going for a trade mission or a show under the ASCF probably. Because they say free movement of people.
Yes.
And they were able to move freely, the persons.
Right.
The goods which they are going to trade, which is supposed to be part of the show, trade show, was behind.
Yeah. They arrived ahead of time.
They arrived ahead of time. Now the goods took certain rigorous custom procedures, stayed, I think it was Nigeria or so, for about 2 weeks. They finished the program before they had access to their program, their product. That is not good.
Yeah.
So this exists. And I know if you give the opportunity for traders, they will share the same story. It exists. And so we have to look at that side of the non-tariff
Was
barrier.
it deliberate, or it was just, you know, the normal cumbersome customs procedures?
I wouldn't say normal, because Ghana is doing very well. Why am I saying that? Ghana is very deliberate or intentional about it doing well, especially, and I want to congratulate the ports. Well, Ghana, through the ICOMs, have designated what we call the after product codes.
Right.
So when the products are coming, they know that this is after products.
Yes.
It's not now that they are going to say the codes, because already the headings and all those things have already been captured.
Yes.
So most countries don't have that in their clearing procedures. And so when the product comes, they are struggling to know what is this? Should I slap the normal import duties on them, or is an after product? It's cumbersome for them. And so that delays.
Time.
That was what happened during the first Kasapreko and Gando issue when it was going to South Africa.
Yes.
The South African court,
they were not aware of anything.
They were not prepared. Not that they were not aware, they were aware. After all, they were part of the signatories. They were not prepared. They have not yet really accustomed their system to that. Unlike Ghana, as I said, when you come now and it's an after product, they don't struggle at all. They are able to help you really clear. And so those non-tariff barriers exist when it comes to custom procedures and custom trade facilitation areas. So yes, it's rearing its head, apart from the tariffs.
Yes. All right, since you've mentioned the ports, I just want to find out from you, from the port and customs perspective, how ready Ghana is to operationalize preferential tariffs seamlessly at entry and exit points. You say Ghana, we have the codes, the after, as of the product code and all that.
I made mention, I said that if you look at the AfCTA import and import data, and I know the customs will have it, we have been at the receiving end. Remember I mentioned that?
Yes.
So what it means is that if you are at the receiving end, we are doing about a receiving end, it means maybe about 30% or 40%. It means others are exporting into Ghana. If we had such checked or difficult procedures, then of course we would have had the data low. As I said, South Africa is in about 50% when it comes to the export side.
Yes.
So therefore, if we are the receiving and trading with South Africa, then it means that our custom procedures is far advanced. That is what it tells you.
Right.
And so we are able to really accord the preferential treatment as signed or as submitted. There was an issue where initially, and as I said, let me also still congratulate the port. Yes. About 3 or 4 years ago, there was an exporter of coffee. There was an exporter of coffee from Ethiopia who wanted to export to Ghana because at that time the tariff, the e-tariff was not ready. And the e-tariff is very important for every exporter, every importer. You want to import or export something from your country or import, you need to go to the e-tariff of the ASCF to state parties to know that this product has Ghana liberalized and what tariff slaps it. So this lady was bringing coffee from Ethiopia. She didn't know. According to her, she said that she read earlier that Ghana has liberalized coffee.
Right.
Only for her to come to the port and they said, no, we've not. So we are going to slap all food duty. And she was not happy about it. I said, okay, let's consult the secretariat after secretariat. And I think the secretariat resolved it because it is also not so that when you have liberalized a product and you have sent your schedules and things to the secretariat, then within 24 hours you turn back and said, oh, hey, I said I have liberalized this product, but I have myself, reverse it, and I'm withdrawing. No, you don't do that. You have to apply. So what you do is that if Ghana, for example, it has liberalized product ABC, and Ghana says, I'm no longer liberalizing it. When you bring it here, I'm going to slap all those tariffs on you. Ghana must write to the Secretariat and say, look, this is it, so that it can be, a common information to all the other state parties. The problem now we are facing is that the state parties, and by extension I'm saying the state parties, I'm talking about Ghana and other countries, they have a difficulty decentralizing information to the private sector and trade associations.
Right.
I will praise Ghana's trade environment because they are very determined.
Yeah.
Ghana's private sector is determined. You take Ghana Association of Industry, GNCC, Exporters, Federation of Exporters, they are determined. They always want to know. They go in for the questions and answers. Yeah. Unlike other jurisdictions where until they hear from their respective governments, they are there, they don't know. And if you don't know, you wouldn't be able to trade well under AfCTA. So some of this information, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And so it is important for e-tariff, education, advocacy to be done. It is also important for, a lot has been done, but I don't think it's still strong, the rules of origin.
Yes.
And the AfCTA. Because take it or leave it, it has come to stay. And if you look at the statistical service data all throughout the year, Ghana did well in our trade surplus. Apart you take gold and oil out, our trade surplus. A lot also inured from our intra-trade, Africa. Intra-trade, yeah. Goods that were going in Africa.
Right.
It boosted our export. You take, as I said, take gold and oil out of this too. Yeah. Though they were the poolers, but I'm looking at the other non-gold and oil commodities.
Right.
And so I think, yes, these are some of the areas I think that we need to focus on. And I think Ghana Ports Customs can lead the way. They should seek funding to do some of these capacity building or partner private sector organizations like us to help them so that you can really do a lot when it comes to Now, I received a call, I think last week, 2 weeks. Yes. A company called me. They are into fruits. Right. Said, sir, I want to know, are we qualified to export? We've heard that there's something like that going on. Is it? I said, yes, we've tried, we've gone here, we've gone there, we don't know where to start from.
Okay.
So I called customs. I said, Fisher, I said, look, this is it. And I like the speed.
Yeah, with which customs acted.
Yes, they wanted to help. Because when you are ready to export, and this is to everybody, you just go to the Ministry of Trade, or go to the National Coordinating Office, or go to GPHA, or go to the private sector organization. You can come to us. What we do is that we will be a liaison, intermediate organization. What you need to do if you want to export a product under AfCTA, because it's trading with rules, headings, whether it qualifies or it doesn't qualify as originating product, you have to go through a certain procedure.
Right.
Customs have to come and assess whether in the first place the product itself that you are producing, the raw materials, are wholly obtained or not, whether there's value addition or not. They will assess that first and see whether the materials you are using to produce itself is from here, the soil. Because the preferential treatment, that is how it's going to look like. If this production, all of it, and that falls within for most agricultural products, all of it have their raw materials from here. And after rules of order, after about 60%, if it's here, or even in the value addition, if it's 60% plus, you qualify. So if the product you are, it's a natural product like fruit juice, and maybe the packaging, you've had certain transformation, they will come and assess. After that, they will come back to you. Then you go in for certificate of origin.
Right.
It is that certificate of origin that is the basis will enable you to export. And after, there was a company that took it on its own. They didn't have the education. The product was on sea, going to Egypt.
Yeah.
High seas, going to Egypt. Before they started calling us, that they don't have they said that if the product arrives in Egypt, they are going to accord it the full strength of duties.
Yeah.
And that they wanted to find out how we could help with the secretary. I said, though it's not a problem, but you don't start that way.
Yeah.
You don't let the goose be on high seas before you start doing the process.
Yeah.
So this is where the bulk of we have not done about 50% of education when it comes to really exporting. I'm saying I use the word real because people have to understand the process, the procedure, what is involved. What
it means somebody sleeping on the job.
You want me to say it, and that is it. And sometimes, as I said, we need to be very intentional about it. And I heard a very good story of Uganda. Uganda's economy is doing so well because they are inward looking. Right. And 80% is on agricultural sector. Even people who are ministers, officials, have farms. Okay, so they know that when it comes to, and ECAS, EAC, the community, East Africa community, they know how to trade among themselves.
Right.
Seamlessly. So, they know. They are doing well, more better. So that education needs to be advocated. And I'm appealing to some of these, our donor partners, who have been sponsoring programs, that they should really tailor some of their sponsorship to really what some of these private sector and organizations like us request from them.
Yes.
For example, I need to be very blunt about it. You go for maybe a concept, you submit a concept note that, look, I want to educate traders or cross-border traders about ABCD, the process of exporting or exporting the AfCTA, and that is what you want. You draw the budget for them, and they go for what they want. That shouldn't be.
Right.
And so if we're able to look at that side, then we will bridge the gap of the misinformation and a little bit of the ignorance, which is very, very key. I can assure you that if we're able to do that, you will have what I call them the micro exporters. Ghana should start with that, micro exporters. Right. And customs and the port should really collaborate with these micro exporters. Because the micro exporters are on the move.
Right.
They are ready to take product to the next border. They're ready to take product to the next country. But they don't have that kind of information.
Right. Awesome. All right. So in terms of services, you mentioned earlier, what is the challenge? Is it that those that offer these services are just not interested, or they haven't been sensitized or educated enough to understand that this is a huge opportunity they can capitalize on to rake in revenue?
That's a very good question. Under the AfCTA, services is complex. Services is a very technical area. And unlike the goose, unlike the protocol in goose.
Right.
But the protocol in trading services is a technical area. It needs a lot of, even at the world trade, it needs serious, one, technical expertise. Two, it needs a lot of negotiations.
Right.
Three, it needs a lot of sacrifice, giveaway. And most of the countries hide. You see, unlike the goods that have what we call, that depends on the rules of origin to work, the services don't. It's based upon what we call something like offer national interest and acceptance.
Right.
How does that mean? For example, let's use, let's say, financial services. A country like Mauritius is about an 80% financial service country. Right. They are well advanced, well advanced. And maybe you want to go and open a financial company there. They said, oh, we have enough. We can't have more of such here.
Yeah.
What can you do? You can't do anything. Or maybe, let's say, the tourism, hospitality. Ghana, we don't have hotels, a lot. I don't know the number of five-star hotels Ghana have. I'm not sure it's up to 15.
Yeah.
So let's say a country like Seychelles that have very advanced hotels, more. They say, look, we think that we want to, invest, or we want to open more hotels or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Ghana's per its regulatory framework say, oh no, we have a lot here. Immediately that's a barrier. That shouldn't be. So they themselves should understand the framework, regulatory framework, and be transparent. That, oh, come, you can. We need. Very, very important, we need. it is at that negotiation level, it is at that level where beyond liberalizing, you go to the extent of deregulating regularizing your offer.
Right.
Which is what we need more. So I don't know why we are not 90% ready. That is what I know.
Right.
And I don't know why. Because is it that we have not prepared our schedules? Is it something we are waiting for something? Because it's important, if you look at Ghana's current services, what I've mentioned to you,
right.
There's a lot we can offer. Even we, when it comes to the maritime, there's a lot of investment we can do outside.
Absolutely.
Look, if you look at the area of another area we can even learn more. Like I mentioned, we can learn that, and I told the challenge to Ghana Tourism Authority. They can learn from the likes of Senegal in terms of our castles, how to manage it, and they can work with maritime authority.
Right.
What do I mean? And the port. For example, let's say Ghana Port. Can you help us get a vessel so that it can convey or can transport people, tourists, not by road,
right,
to Elmina, to mention some of the castles, Elmina, Cape Coast,
yeah,
whatever.
We have some of the forts around here.
Yes. So immediately, if Ghana Port doesn't have the capacity and the resources, you fall on an investor.
Yeah.
And I can assure you, you can have a lot of domestic investors who will be ready to pump money into that capital. And what happens? So people will not be using the road all the time when they are going for tourist. They will use the maritime.
Yeah.
So that is another service area.
So that brings to the fore the issue of cruise tourism in our country.
You are right. This is very important, and it will minimize, my words, some of the a lot of road business.
Yeah.
Maritime. So you come in here, so the maritime infrastructure, and they can help you.
Right.
Just as we have the maritime boat trying to try to secure our waters.
Yeah.
The same can be said when it comes to the tourism industry, the services side. We can learn. So if a company in, let's say, Dakar, chose the offer to Ghana, and we say, oh no, we are full, we have those expertise.
Yeah.
Of course, then you are blocking their services. So you can't have that national interest offer and acceptance.
Yeah.
And so then the services under ESF will delay.
Yeah.
And so this is very, very important. There's something that Equatorial Guinea is doing, which is amazing. Equatorial Guinea financially, now what they are doing is that, they used to export their oil and gas. They have a lot.
Right.
They are not a poor country. They used to export to Spain.
Yeah.
They were the only Spanish-speaking country.
Yeah.
They used to export their oil and gas directly to Spain. They said no. I, together with other team, we did some kind of itinerary for their leaders when they came about 3 years ago.
Yes.
And when we went to the secretariat, the secretariat said, oh, they said, come to us, come and invest.
Yes.
We want to have that guided trade initiative.
Right.
The Secretary General said, look, Equatorial Guinea, your problem is not money, and we are very happy. And they did. Now, they said, instead of exporting those oil and gas outside, we are bringing it via across Africa.
Right.
Secondly, instead of we opening, and this is a challenge to all governments, instead of we going to have deposits or having bank accounts, maybe for national reasons, outside Africa, let us open intra-African banks.
Yeah.
So what they did is that they started opening financial banks across some of these state parties.
Right.
To finance export and import. The Afrasian Bank is not enough. Afrasian Bank cannot finance the whole of export and
Right.
They can't. The same applies to Ghana, but they can't.
Yeah.
So if you have at the national level our capacity, like tailored certain banks or financial institutions, maybe let's say Ghanaism says reaches the capacity they can, and so no, we cannot. Ghana is enough. I'm just making a point. Let's open another of Exim Bank, whatever name it comes under it, under in Togo.
Yes.
Then we move there, and then we keep moving. This is the way services is supposed to play.
Absolutely.
In terms of setups, in terms of offer, in terms of acceptance, and in terms of how it's executed.
Right. Absolutely. Right, this is Zion Port here on Metro TV. Tonight we are taking a look at investment outlook in Ghana under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And with us in the studios is Mr. Louis Afo. He's an international trade and after investment promotion consultant, and he's the one we're doing the discussion with. In a couple of months after we hit 6 years, and we are housing the National Secretariat, if you recall. And so there's no way Ghana can sit back and say we are not going to participate actively or get involved. And so we want to find out and measure, gauge, where we are at the moment and what the prospects that lie ahead is for us as a country in terms of AfCTA. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the discussion. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. I've been told we can activate the phone lines now. The number to dial is 0245 834980, 0245 834980. You can call in and contribute to the discussion at the appropriate time. I'll be sharing your messages with the rest of the world, and we'll be getting some responses from our guest tonight, Mr. Louis Yao Afol, who is an international trade and after investment promotion consultant. And remember, tonight we are taking a look at investment outlook in Ghana under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Mr. Afol, let's come to the issue of digital trading. We cannot do without it. We're talking about AfCTA. That's physical things that we can hold and put in the containers and whatever. There's this other side on the divide that has to do with digital. I mean, it's online. Tell us about digital trading and how that is affecting, or that would affect, you know, after.
Mona, I tell you what, I'm amazed. You know, there is the whole nomenclature of digital trade. What we are seeing booming in Ghana is the distributive part of digital trade. The distributive part of digital trade where, you know, items are being sold on a certain platform, e-commerce. And these days, people, it's like a stock exchange. Seeing it on phones, people everywhere, social media platforms. That is the distributive part of digital trade, which is booming so much and is alarming. It is good, but not so good.
Yes.
Not so good because if the products that is being traded on the digital side or the e-commerce side is made in Ghana,
yes,
or majority is made in Africa, when I don't have a problem. But majority of these products are not made in Ghana or made in Africa.
Yes.
Majority are made outside Africa. You know what that means? What it means is that, and let's be very frank, it's about 70% are from China.
Yes.
It is not that the Chinese product is what I have an issue with, but you see, if the trade ecosystem does not take care, what is going to happen is that certain products that are domestic enough to be produced here will be off radar. And those companies will suffer.
Right.
They will be stifled. Certain basic products that we can produce here.
Right.
We have the raw materials. What we need to do is to add the technology. If we see them always finding their way into our trading space, always on phone. Today you switch on your phone and people will be selling products showing the location from A to Z products. If you even take plastic products that you have factories here.
Yeah.
All these products have found their way here. What happens to those companies that are producing those local products that could be? They will collapse. Not two ways about it. They will collapse. And when your manufacturing is dying, you cannot be strong in export.
Yeah.
And you cannot have a stabilized forex. You won't have a stabilized foreign exchange.
Yeah.
And so that my concern in that side of the distributive part of digital trade is that Ghana Revenue also have to really look at how streaming all these products. Has it gone through real tax network, tax bracket or tax net? Are you with me? Has it really gone into it? Because when it happens that way, and you, Mona, for example, you you are trading a product like, let's say, let's take water.
Yes.
Let's take water. And water you can produce domestic here. Okay? And
yes.
I think water is going too far. Let's take a toothpick. We have so much bamboos around Cape Coast. And maybe you, Mona, I see you on your e-commerce platform always advertising a made in ABC country toothpick. And you have a domicile company in Ghana. What will happen to that company? It will collapse.
Yeah.
And this is, it does not necessarily mean trade is really booming. You know what it means is that you are at the low end, because at the end of the day, they are able to subsidize their producers over there.
Yes.
And they bring their product here cheap, and you can't compete with them when it comes to pricing. You can't.
Right.
That is what it means. You can't. Unlike Uganda. Uganda is, I'm told, and you can check for yourself, Uganda, they don't accept all manner. They are very hard on import substitution. Let me just put it that way. Their import substitution policy is very strong, and they are intentional about it. You cannot just import any other thing like that to Uganda of things they produce there. No, you can't. Not only Uganda, and other places. And so, like I gave the earlier example of ShopRite, that if you take AfCTA under the importations, Ghana is at the receiving end. It means that South Africa, through ShopRite, is bringing their produced goods over there here.
Right.
Now, it's in Africa. And so at the end of the day, you are part of AfCTA. But products that are not made in Ghana and Africa is my concern.
Right.
Which we are in the distributive trading and the digital trading so high currently that sometimes I have a question whether we really trace even the tax implications of those products. Because, for example, if you, Mona, you see on my phone, I'm advertising a product, and you call me, and I just quickly order it, and a motorcycle or a dispatch brings it, and I pay. How do we account for the tax ecosystem?
Exactly.
Of that those kind of trading?
Yeah.
And so one of the weakness of digital trading is enforcing tax regulations are difficult.
Sure. So it means the Ghana Revenue Authority will be having a shortfall.
Of
because
course.
they are not going to be able to tax that bit of.
So we should
the trade.
Learn from other center of excellence how digital trade, how have the tax authorities been able to capture all digital platforms. How have we been able to capture all digital? And they can, because Ministry of Communication have all the tools. National Communication Authority have all the tools to be able to trace all platforms and see really whether they are tax compliant. Those goods, are they tax compliant? Even as much as we are avoiding double taxation, yes. So if it came true, see, sometimes, for example, it might not come true necessarily through the port or through the cargo side of the airport. Why? Because maybe you went to maybe Barcelona and you said, oh, you found some 10 pieces of things and you have captured it as part of your baggage. This is not commercial, no. You've captured it as part of your baggage. And then you pay for your luggage. You understand? And then within the next few days, I see the things that you went to Barcelona to buy, not for commercial purposes. And then you are trading it digital and you are selling it at a higher price. Now, you did not pass through the port of entry. It was not captured through maybe the cargo side of air.
Yes.
But those products now are on sale digital. That profit you are going to get from those products, ask yourself, will it be captured by the GRE? If you go to Rwanda, and some of the products that sometimes you see maybe around 37 being hawked.
Yes.
You can't do that. There are certain demarcated areas you can't trade like that.
Right.
And you can verify from some of the Minister of Trade in Rwanda. So, for example, if you go to Sesame, you see that people are selling certain products, as I said, you might not have been captured under the normal formal procedures. It came through because maybe, I just wanted to bring it. But now you see it being sold. How do you ascertain whether those products I've gone through that system. Now, if that person says, I'm not going to trade it physically, I'm doing it online, that's even the worst.
Right.
So, yes, it's booming, but it's a boomerang.
Okay. There's a question that has come in. Somebody has sent in a message. It says, hello, I am Port. I am Mami Ajwa from Medina. Digital trade in Ghana appears to be dominated by imports. Does this trend undermine AfCTA's objective of boosting intra-Africa trade and local manufacturing?
Yes. I just said yes. And you see, I'm not the one saying, you see that somebody's, yes. You see, and look, Mona, I don't know, but I can be corrected. I'm told there's a certain agreement we are having with the Chinese government.
Yeah.
My fears, we're not going to be better off. We are not. For a growing industry like Ghana, man, we are not going to be better off. I'm appealing to the Minister of Trade to reconsider the 1D, 1F. It was the implementation that went bad.
Right.
And tie it to the 24-hour economy. Something can come out of it. And then tie it to the special economic zones. I don't know whether the law was passed. Parliament went on recess. I'm not sure they passed that law.
Right.
These 4 things I've mentioned, 1D, 1F, the 24-hour economy, special economic zones, tie it. It is far better than the kind of agreements we have with these Chinese people. Why? Because the Chinese government gives money to its people to come and then, what do you call it, trade.
Yeah.
Where's now? The China malls. They are good, they are selling products, but 90% of the goods are not your goods.
Yeah.
There's even another one, American, European, there are many. And so these are some of these products that find themselves, like Mami Ajwa is saying.
Yes.
So yes, it has a way. Because when you do that, at the end of the day, you are not giving yourself the export capacity to produce and sell across intra-Africa.
Right.
You remember the famous partnership, EU partnership agreement we had?
Yes.
That famous one?
Yes.
Mana, it's one of the most weakest trade policies ever signed.
Ever signed.
Why? Because until 2028 or so, we are not going to take certain tariffs from all kind of product that is coming down here from that market. And why? Why should that be so? Why should that be so?
Next time
those ones also affect the preferential agreement that we have under the AfCTA. So at the end of the day, instead of you giving that preferential treatment to a state party, somebody outside the free zone, the free trade agreement, is enjoying it.
Absolutely. We need to take a look at it next time. This one says, good evening. Good discussion and very educative. Thanks so much for your human resources and the impact you are making. Ken, can I meet him for further discussions and learning? The IMPORT team, I say congratulations. This one is from Engineer Nati. Engineer, thank you very much. So I would get a team to link you up with Mr. Louis Aful so that you can reach him and then you can take it up from there. This one says, many businesses complain that non-tariff barriers still outweigh tariff benefits. What practical steps can be taken to remove these barriers so African goods can move freely through Ghana's ports? It's from Jude in Latibia Kwashe. Thank you very much, Jude.
I said earlier, I was writing, I think 4 years or 3 years ago, I was preparing a paper to the UN. I was teaming up with one consultant in South Africa. We were presenting a paper to the UN. And I was emphasizing on harmonization of institutions.
Right.
You see, the AfCTA is just one conduit of the Africa we want.
Right.
We want to have one African market, like the EU. We shouldn't compare ourselves to EU. We are not there yet.
Right.
And they started rigorously. So what happens is that when your first step is free trade. After free trade, you go to the External Customs Union.
Right.
Then you move to a very important one, harmonization of institutions. That is why the East African and SADC are doing well. They have one external customs. So what it means is that whatever custom A does is the same replicated here and there.
Yeah. Right.
A time should come where you have the same custom harmonization among Nigeria border, Cote d'Ivoire border. You don't go and meet a different procedures as you move. That is the problem. Just as we are having one harmonized standardization, the Afrasian Bank is financing one big project like that, whereby the standards that are in Ghana is accorded and recognized by another country, the same should be applicable when it comes to the non-tariff barriers in terms of road by road border trade facilitation. That is the only way. There was immigration. There was a program 2020. I take you back a bit. 2020, when I think that the comptroller of immigration complained, made a serious point at that time that there was a story in Nigeria where a lot of goods were just crossing the barrier, just and somebody made a good Samaritan attempt to talk to the customs and immigration, and he asked the person, "Your goods lost."
Okay.
Your goods lost.
So why are you complaining, or why are you asking?
In other words,
right.
If I'm allowing the goods to go in and how without NHS, or I'm preventing your goods lost, do you have a problem?
Yeah, sure.
This is coming from a typical non-harmonized institution. Because it doesn't know that whatever is under AfCTA is supposed to affect all of us. That is what we can do. Because if you have a Schengen visa, I'm just giving an example. Look at how it is. You go from one country, they know it's recognized. That is what we mean by harmonizing of institutions. They are aware. They know the procedures. That this is what. So you go to Cote d'Ivoire, ICOMS, or other you call it ICOMS.
ICOMS.
A prototype of it is in Cote d'Ivoire. The same thing, the customs. They know it. When they reach there, it's not go and bring this. I remember many years ago, I used to trade in North Togo.
Right.
Sankasi.
Yeah.
I went there for the first time.
Those areas, sure.
Good. The first time I crossed the Ghana side of the border, when I reached the French side, immediately one of the soldiers called me, "Come, l'argent."
Yeah, taking money.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
All right, we have barely 1 minute to go. This one says, "Good evening, Iron Port. Great show. Trade in services is a major pillar of AfCTA. Ask your guest how competitive is Ghana's logistics, shipping, and port services sector compared to other African countries under this framework." Kofi Ansa in Nungwa.
Yes, I think that there's more room. And I keep saying that Ghana's port and logistical community of fraternity is doing well. In fact, they under trade and transport, because you're looking at trade facilitation as part of it, there are more rooms and opportunities. Because I remember somebody even asked me, "Sir, we want to import tilapia from Ghana. Can you help us? Do you have a solid logistical sector?" I said, yes. The AfCTA last year, when they were highlighting their 5 focal areas of named logistics as one of the most important areas. And logistics, to me, the supply chain is one of the areas of wealth. Let me quickly add that these are some of the areas the Ghana Investment Authority or Ghana Investment Center to focus on domestic investors. Like the question the gentleman asked, it means he wants to know, is there any room that as a private sector I can give an opportunity to invest in Ghana?
Absolutely.
Without looking at foreign direct. So therefore, if he's given an opportunity, I say, okay, yes, government says, I'm going to support you 30%. What can you bring? I'm bringing 60%. You don't need to do far to a foreign direct investor to come and compete with the ones who are locally here. And then also, let us have micro investors. People like that. Bring them together. The logistical companies. What can they do? You bring them and let them form a team called the micro investors. And government should pay attention in terms of resources, how to resource such micro investors.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Louis Yawafo, who is an international trade and after investment promotion consultant, for obliging us this evening and coming for us to discuss investment outlook in Ghana as far as AfCTA is concerned. You heard him. We are not doing bad, but there is more to be done, and I think that we are just underperforming. And so we need to do much more to maximize the benefits and potentials of AfCTA. Bearing in mind that Ghana is the one that's hosting the National Secretariat here in Accra. And so thank you so much, sir, for obliging us. I wish you the best in the coming year, and I know that as and when we reach out to you, you will oblige us.
My pleasure.
We say a big thanks also to our sponsors, Ghana Regional Authority Well PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, Iron Port is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. God willing, next year, we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of your favorite Iron Port. Eye on Port. And we entreat you to keep watching the rest of our programs here on Metro TV. And we also want you to make a date on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. and watch the abridged version of Eye on Port on Ghana Television, GTV. My name is Kennedy Mona. Thank you so much for choosing us. Have a super and blessed week ahead. And God willing, next week, which is next year, we shall meet again here on Eye on Port. Stay blessed, and thank you so much.